Top of the morning to you, 6:30. It's the time from 32 FM 94.9. That's the station that is filling the world with laughter. Good morning to you. If you just joined us, I am OLUTAYO, OGUNADE, and I welcome you to this morning edition of the Breakdown Newspaper Review. The papers are here, and of course, my partner is right here.
Good morning. My name is DENIKE, ADEMUWAGUN, and I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. Go with us as we explore the front page of the Punch this morning. Investors commit 3.36 trillion naira to federal government bonds in 12 months. Subscription hits 1.61 trillion naira. And you can also find external reserves slides to 4 months low at $39.98 billion. External reserves slides to 4 months low at $39.98 billion. Federal government school feeding suffers setback. Pupils wait in vain for vendors. Away from that, ICPC scores UCH, NCDC, 24 others low on ethics compliance. ICPC scores UCH, NCDC, 24 others low on ethics compliance. And to the major story, NIMC portal breaks down. Banks, telcos, passport issuance suffer. Downtime enters 6th day. MTN, Glow, AirTel, others suspend SIM replacement acquisition. Immigration may rebook passport applicants' appointment as glitch stalls NIN verification. And telcos lose millions. Customers' verification affected. NIMC apologizes as engineers battle crisis. Away from that, Ondo plans TSA implementation to block leakages, curtail fraud. Police arrest Beninese alleged trans body kidnapper, recover 2.3 trillion naira. This one says Oyetola supporters lampoon Aregbeshola's ex-commissioner for attacking governor. And away from that, dismissed DPO fleeing kingpin arrested. NDLEA seizes 22 160 kg cocaine in Lagos port. And that's it on the Punch this morning.
Denike, how was the weekend?
It was good.
Okay, I go to Daily Trust newspaper. A terrorist closing in on Kaduna metropolis. Okay, terrorists gunned down in attack on Kogi police station. We have another one here. Insecurity. Presidency rejects Financial Times report on Nigeria. Sound education. Solution to insecurity. Aremu. Nigeria, world's third highest in female genital mutilation. UNICEF. Still from Daily Trust. Igboho's plight worsens as Benin Republic extends its detention by 6 months. Igongo eviction. Igboho must be regretting his actions by now. Sacking Fulani. Senegal weighing Afghan for first time. Tinubu returned after 8 days in London. Do we have more from Daily Trust? Yes, let me take 2 more. As China delays, federal government shops for 5.9 trillion naira loan to deliver multiple rail projects. And Ganduje versus Shekarau, APC unveils power sharing template today.
Moving to the Daily Post this morning, Southern Kaduna killings, you have failed. Orewa to Oshibajo. Away from that, AFCON 2021, you put your life, family at risk. Okocha tells Maine after Senegal beat Egypt. And away from that, we have over 30 bandits attack Kogi Police Command, 1 killed. And more stories on the Daily Post this morning. 2023 presidency. Tinubu returns to Nigeria from UK. And finally, why I am against zoning of political offices. This is coming from Lamido, 2023.
All right, so let's take a look at Daily Focus. Naira stability threatened as Nigeria's external reserves drop. Housewife in police net for stabbing her husband's nephew to death over broken glass in Ogun. We're in a hurry to develop Nigeria. Senate President, still from front page of Daily Focus. Senegal beat Egypt to win first African title. I took that. Royal fathers are politically neutral. That you can also find there. NDLEA seizes 22,160 kg hard drugs. Dismissed DPO caught with 168 kg cannabis. Let me take some more from Daily Focus. 50 Benue convicts on death row regains freedom. NDE urges Imo women to embrace skill acquisition programs. And cleric feeds 200 or 320 Muslims, Christians, disabled persons in Akwa Ibom.
Moving to the Vanguard this morning, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has said with an estimated 19.9 million survivors, Nigeria accounts for the third highest number of women and girls who have undergone female genital mutilation globally. Away from that, 1.6 trillion liquidity inflow, 1.6 trillion naira liquidity inflow, seen subduing money market rates. And more on this, Akwa Ibom 2023, my endorsement shouldn't stop others from contesting. This is coming from Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Lands and Water Resources, Umo Eno. Away from that, this one says Delta 2023. I'm just going to skip that story. Sunday Igboho to spend 6 more months in Benin prison. Sunday Igboho to spend 6 more months in Benin prison. And Boye Oyewumi joins Ondo South Senatorial Race 2023. Still on the Vanguard this morning. Don't drag us into your politics. Oshun Police Commissioner warns politicians. And CSO condemns alleged moves to scrap NSCDC. And finally on the Vanguard this morning, autumn to article, Benue people are not happy with you. And that's it on the Vanguard.
Do not forget, we are live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan, 32FM 949 Ibadan, live on Facebook. You can drop your comments there or your questions. Why I do not support zoning of political offices, Sule Lamido. And that's from Premium Times. Buhari joins religious leaders begging ASO to discard strike. Okay, IELTS, Nigerians reject UK's explanation, insist language test a scam. World Cancer Day, Nigerians seek implementation of National Cancer Institute Act. Oil spillage, Akwa Ibom communities move to enforce 82 billion naira judgment debt against 2 oil giants. Let me take 2 more before we go on our first commercial break. AFCON 2021, Senegal are African champions, and Nigeria records 3 deaths, 145 infections on Saturday. That's on COVID-19. We'll be back after this commercial.
FM 94.9.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher, a pilot, an astronaut.
Kids have big dreams, but a lack of iron in their diet could affect their brain development. That's why 1 sachet of Cerelac Junior provides 50% of their daily iron needs to help them learn to their full potential and fulfill their dreams.
A musician, an architect.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ nípasẹ̀ ìròyìn BBC ní Yorùbá. Nítorí kí o tó lè tayọ, o ní láti mọ̀ ọ́n. Ní ìmísí pẹ̀lú àwọn oríṣiríṣi ìròyìn láti ibi àti káàkiri àgbáyé. Nígbà tí o bá ní ìmọ̀ nípa ohun tó ń lọ ní àgbáyé, o lè ṣe ohunkóhun. Mọ ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àyíká rẹ. Wá BBC News Yorùbá kàn.
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, jọ̀ọ́, ǹjẹ́ mo lè yáge? Oúnjẹ òun ni àjẹkẹ́jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Kíní nǹkan ń ṣe yùngbà nínú oúnjẹ yìí.
Kọrí ìsóúnjẹ tuntun látọwọ́ ọ̀ǹgà ni.
Ṣé pé ọ̀ǹgà náà ti ní kọrí?
Àkànṣe ni láti inú èròjà ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀. Èmi ò rò pé mo lè ṣe nǹkan kan mọ́ láláì lo ìsóúnjẹ kọrí ti ọ̀ǹgà yìí o. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi, ǹjẹ́ lè yá mi ní ọtún gèlè yín yẹn?
Ǹjẹ́ náà wáyé nìyẹn?
Fún adùn tí wọ́n máa fi dáàbò bo oúnjẹ rẹ mọ̀ yàtọ̀, lo kọrí ọ̀ǹgà tí a fi àpòpọ̀ àwọn èròjà ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ ṣe.
Ó ga o, ṣé ẹ ṣàlè fún wa lóúnjẹ díẹ̀ sí ṣá?
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
It's going to be a golden year, this is what we declare. Every day you go wake up to golden morning if you breathe, say yeah. It's going to be a golden year, as we don't declare. We go wake up every day to golden morning if you breathe, say yeah.
Have a golden morn, a golden day, a golden week, a golden month, and a golden year. Golden morn, delicious nourishment for the whole family.
Hey, that's my jam, man.
Let me tell you something.
Hey. rest of my life. Hey. Sit back and relax. It's the goal. No shaking. My future is bright. Lead with pension in my bank. Hey. Smile. Oh yeah. Keep on smiling every day. Keep on living in every way. It's found a special place. Leadway Pension PFA.
Live your best life now. Switch to Leadway Pension PFA. Enjoy our competitive return, top-class customer experience, prompt payment, and the peace of mind that comes with a trusted Leadway brand. Leadway Pension PFA. Your future, our passion.
Good morning, Baba.
Oh, how are you?
Doing very well, Baba. I need a bag of maize and a bag of cassava.
My child, the ones that are here are not too good, truth be told. Majorly all my farm proceeds are in bad conditions.
Baba, haven't you heard of Modesty Farm Nigeria?
Hope it is not one of those agro-business that are to one's problem.
No, Baba. Modesty Farms Nigeria is an agro-business company that has a good track record and they can be trusted in helping to cultivate farmland, especially for maize and cassava. And their farmlands are free from herdsmen's problem. You can be sure to get the value for your money as they have farm experts that can handle your farms.
So, how can I get through to them?
Modesty Farms Nigeria is located at Lad Lab Complex, Shehu Bus Stop, Ologunero, Ibadan. You can also reach them for more information on 070-3704-3168.
Modesty Farms Nigeria.
Farming is what we do.
Every kid is amazing at something. Give them amazing day. Amazing day instant cereal. Give them amazing day. Same calcium as a glass of milk. For healthy bones and teeth. Excellent source of protein. For daily growth and strength. Calcium, protein, vitamin A, dietary fiber.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Instant Cereal. Feed that amazing.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Thank you for staying with us. You're welcome to the Breakdown Newspaper Review on 32 FM 94.9. I am Adenike ADEMUWAGUN.
And I am OLUTAYO OGUNADE. Good morning to you.
Good morning. We also have Doc on the line. Dr. Ojadoku is on the line. Hello, good morning, Doc.
You.
Good morning, Prof. How?
Welcome today to you.
Okay. So how are you doing today?
Well, I'm fine. It's a cold morning, but at least one is up. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Let's take it from the sports story here. The lead we have from here.
Okay, so yesterday was quite triumphant for the Senegal team because they came, or would I say they defeated Egypt to claim their first Cup of Nations title. In fact, their president declared today, Monday, as a public holiday to celebrate their brilliant victories, the brilliant victories of the Lions. Do you think that this win is well deserved? Some people think it is. Some people do not think it is. What do you think about the whole Senegal victory?
Well, there are many who would have thought that that's where Nigeria should have been. We started very well, didn't we? But obviously, we didn't sustain the momentum. In fact, people have thought that maybe Cameroon possibly would have clinched it. And if not Cameroon, maybe one of the big giants like Egypt. But I think you have to give it to the Senegalese. Senegalese, they have a number of stars playing for Liverpool, for some of the top clubs. So it's not as if they don't have the talent. They have it. But the significance, as you stated earlier, is that the first time, it's their first championship. And hopefully they will be hoping that they will be able to sustain that maybe into the World Cup or things like that. But I think it's encouraging that other parts of Africa to have a shot. There's no point always Nigeria, Egypt, or indeed Cameroon. So I think it speaks well for the development of football in Africa. So it's a welcome development. And I think it's well deserved. They kept up the stamina, they sustained the pressure, and they won the prize.
All right, I was particularly impressed with was Sadio Mane and also their goalkeeper. All right, these guys did fantastic, for the team, claiming it for the very first time. It's commendable. And what do you say to Nigeria, our football?
Well, I think if you look at Nigeria, we just need to take this football thing more seriously. We have the ability, we have the capacity, we have the talent. You saw it during the first round. How we were able to walk through all the teams. So, that, I mean, if we really were sustained, if we really were determined, I'm sure that we could have made it to the final. So I think we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to look at our technical setup. We have to get a coach, a manager, you understand, that can read the mood of games, that can read the opponent better, and that basically is on top. So I think, first and foremost, we need a manager. And then secondly, the boys too need to be aware that football is not like it was 10, 15 years ago. A lot of other countries too have developed. They have their talent. They're also technically on top of the game. So we also have to be on top.
Right, thank you. Let's move away from sports and go to this one here. Financial Times hits Buhari, says Nigeria has sleepwalked closer to disaster under his watch. And you have a reporter from the presidency also. Insecurity, presidency rejects Financial Times report on Nigeria. You must have seen the report. Yes, what's interesting is that under Jonathan, there were 227, I stand to be corrected, but over 200, there were kidnapping Chibok. But when you look at under the present administration, there are about 6 major kidnappings. You know, they've been kidnappings all over the place, but major ones, you know, where you have over 100, near 200 and so on. When you look at the totality of it, almost over 1,000 have been kidnapped in the period of 6 years or 7 years of Buhari. So when you compare it and use that as an indices, then of course some people would say that insecurity has increased. And the Financial Times, we are correct to say that we're in trouble. What's our debt ratio? How much has been borrowed in 6 years compared to, say, Jonathan's administration? No one is suggesting that Jonathan was a saint, and no one is suggesting that it was El Dorado under Jonathan. But what we're suggesting is that we are not where we should be. In infrastructure, we've made some progress there, but at what cost have we made the progress? The Naira, what's the rate of the Naira? What was the rate of the Naira when this government took over? What's the rate of the Naira to the dollar or to the pound today? So when you look at all those indices, what of inflation? What of unemployment? So for the government to rebut what Financial Times said, they would have to come up with statistics that make sense. And statistics that make sense in the pocket of the average man, the man on the street, the man in the village, and the man wherever in Nigeria. If they cannot do that, then most people would just say, well, it's sophistry and it's mere propaganda just to rebut. It's not enough to rebut. The government must demonstrate by its policies that they have made lives better for Nigerians.
Okay, Doc. So I think we should just run this story. Let's talk about the Russia crisis. Federal government is urging Nigeria and Ukraine to remain calm and to be security conscious. And some people are saying that, death has written letters to those staying in Ukraine and you're telling them to stay calm. Some people are of the school of thought that, do you think that this is like the bandit situation in Nigeria when countries like the UK are already taking out their, for lack of another word, taking out their own citizens, and you're saying that they should stay calm. What do you think about this?
Well, let's be very clear. Britain, America, and some of the other countries haven't necessarily taken out their citizens, but what they've done is that they've evacuated the embassies, reduced them to skeletal staff, and of course, there will always be a warning alert to people going to that area. I think Nigeria's options are limited. Yes, we have a lot of students there, and yes, we have our embassy there. I think our options are very, very limited. I don't think you can fault the government in its response. There's little much that the government can do. First and foremost, there's no substantial evidence that there's going to be a war in Ukraine. But of course, people have to be on alert at the moment. There's serious diplomacy going on at the moment. It may yet be resolved. But I think that our options really are limited. What we can do if our citizens want to be evacuated, then of course we can make plans for that. And if we are going to make plans for that, we better begin to start now. But I think most countries are edging their bets that there will be no war and that it's just saber-rattling from the Russians. But I'm not going to fault the Nigerians at this point in time. At least they've issued some warnings. At least people are aware. And I think that's what the government can do at this point in time.
Okay.
All right, let's see another one here. President Buhari commenced the week under review with a promise that the federal government would honor promises made to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. This, President said, was to prevent disruptive strikes, engender uninterrupted academic programs, and improve funding of education institutions.
Yes, obviously the word of the president should be his bond. And I think the problem that ASU has had with this government and previous government is that they make promises, memorandum of understanding. When it comes to implementation, they fall short. But the reality of the situation, and ASU is not going to like this, is that the federal government is broke. And so even though they've made promises in the past, they're struggling to meet some of these promises because simply they are broke. They are borrowing quite a lot and they are broke. But also the federal government has its fault. If you make promises, find ways to fulfill the promises. The problem again we are having is that even though federal government cannot meet the promises to ASU, we are still establishing more federal universities as I speak. So you ask the question, you haven't fully funded the emolument, the staff welfare and salaries and all the research grants and so on and so forth that is required by the universities, and you are going on to setting up new ones. I don't understand the economics behind it. I don't really understand that. But the government has to get serious. Let's concentrate on making the universities that we have world beaters, finance them adequately. Then in future, at a later date, we can then talk about setting up newer universities. ASU has called the warning strike. In other words, they said there will be no work. Is it today or wherever? So ASU is quite serious, and I think the federal government is jittery. Who gains the advantage here? The students suffer, of course, but of course, those that are wealthy would either send their children abroad or use private institutions. Unfortunately, not many people can go to private institutions, and so it's going to cause a problem for a whole lot of Nigerian students and parents.
So I remember when I was in the university for a 4-year course. It went on for 5 years because at the point of entry in 100 level it was 6 months. At the point of exit it was 6 months. And I just want to see what you think about this school of thought that some people have shared. For example, they say that in some organizations, when maybe for example when COVID hit, some top officials in some organizations slashed their salaries to make sure that everybody was okay. So why can't the people in the Senate, House of Reps, slash their, what's it called, allowances? Because they get allowance for breathing allowance and all those things, but that's not my focus. So do you think that this is a possible way to go?
No, of course it's a possible way. Of course our recurrent expenditure is far, far beyond our reach. Of course we have the most expensive governance in anywhere in the world. And of course, I think we need more than what you've suggested. I think the legislature needs to be unicameral, not bicameral, because we simply can't afford it. I think it should be part-time. Why do I think it should be part-time? Because they're not even sitting the required number of days. They're sitting 66 days rather than the constitutionally required period that they should be sitting. So it demonstrates to you that it should be part-time, and that saves us money. Saves us money on salaries, saves us money on emoluments, saves us money on allowances. And I think, when you are in a problem, economic problem, when you're borrowing a lot, what you do first is you look at your outgoings. What are my outgoings? Am I spending too much money on petrol? Am I spending too much money on going to clubs or I can't mention shops, or shops all over the places and so on and so forth? And that's what the government should do. And I don't think we're doing that. I think the legislatures, by and large, are sitting pretty. It's not just the legislatures. The federal government is increasing its expenditure. The judiciary too also has to increase its expenditure. So in all these things, you understand, you see that Nigeria really is living beyond its means. So I think we need to cut our costs according to our sizes. And if we can't do that, then we must raise more money. So that's the alternative. Not borrowing, but raise more money. And people don't want to pay tax anyway. So it's going to be difficult to raise more money from tax. So that's the conundrum that we face.
All right, I want to link this your position to the story we took the other time, and that's on David, the author of the article, What is Nigeria's Government For? He said in the article that Muhammadu Buhari may go, but it's not the leader who matters, the system itself must change. Do you want to expatiate on this?
Yeah, I think the structure is the main problem. It's a structure that allows the kind of waste that we have. If, for instance, we only had a unicameral legislature, just one legislature. If, for instance, allowances were not allowed to be given the way they are given. But beyond that, if we had much more of on the recurrent list rather than on the exclusive list, and maybe the finances itself will be better spent. So I think restructuring is the key. because it is possible that somebody else comes in with good intention, but the structure simply doesn't allow. You see, most of the governing is done at the state level. But even at the state level, the funding is not there. So what we have is what is called an unfunded mandate. What do I mean by unfunded mandate? Which means that the states are required to do back-to-back governing, but they don't have the resources to be able to do it. And so the federal government is lumbered with a lot of resources, and yet their responsibilities, you understand, are limited to a certain extent, even though we have a long list on the exclusive list. So I think that the structure needs to be changed. I think there needs to be more devolution of power. I think more power at the local government level and, of course, at the state level. And, of course, the policing arrangement needs to be looked at. If that is looked at better, and then we begin to encourage IGRs at the local level, you understand, so that people are not just relying on oil money and on borrowing, I think we'll be better off. So it's not enough just to change the president, who will be changed anyway in 2023, but also the structure needs to be revamped, the structure needs to be looked at and changed.
Okay, Doc. So let's talk about Sunday Igboho. Let's talk about Sunday Igboho for a moment. I remember reading, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, saying that there was someone who said that Sunday Igboho was going to be free and that in no time it was going to be out. And I also remember that Yomi Aliyu actually said that he did not know where this was coming from. Apparently, Benin Republic has renewed Igboho's incarceration, and according to Aliyu, says there are no criminal charges against him, no extradition request from the Nigerian government. And so, even though the news was speculated in the news, by a lawyer that he was going to be out soon, they have given him another 6 months. And what do you think about this?
Was the Nigerian legal system, I'll be able to speak with all confidence. The Nigerian legal system, you cannot be held more than 48 hours without being charged. He's been here now for almost more than 6 months now, and there's no charge against him. So it's very curious as to what is going on here. One asks the question, are there some subterranean moves going on by the federal government or indeed other governments from that point of view? But it's quite clear that what is suspected of doing is violating immigration laws and immigration rules. And if he is, the option of coming back to Nigeria is there. So why is he not being deported back to Nigeria or a third country? Those are the questions that need to be asked. I think the lawyers are best placed to be able to ask that. But it must be harrowing for Sunday Igboho to have his freedom curtailed in such a manner and in such a way. And I think in normal climes, if the federal government was friendly towards him, will be our federal government who will be visiting Republic of Benin and asking and making representation through our consular offices and saying, why are you detaining a Nigerian citizen without charging him unduly? Countries around the world, that's what they do on behalf of their citizens. But you know that Sunday Igboho and the federal government are not friends. And the federal government would rather see him in the gulag in Nigeria than for him to be free. So I think the lawyers have more questions to answer, and it's really the lawyers who can determine what exactly is going on with the legal system in Republic of Benin. But what is quite clear is that he's innocent until proven guilty. He's not being charged, and the legal system there seems to have prejudged him.
All right, but how will Agbekoya receive this news? About 3 days ago, they threatened to release Sunday Igboho magically if he was not released in good time.
Spiritual prison break.
Yes, we heard about that. One of the things, Mr. Tayo, we've been discussing it. I mean, before he was incarcerated, you used to indicate that, yes, there were rumors that Sunday Igboho had access to some, magical powers and so on and so forth. And one begins to wonder, maybe these are fables rather, and there's no magical power of any sort, from that point of view. But what is quite clear is that some people want to go the jazz route. Metaphysical from that point of view. And I think time will tell whether metaphysical can get him released from prison and so on and so forth. And I will ask the question, if they have the metaphysical, then in the first instance, Sunday Igboho would not have been captured or arrested in that way. Secondly, it's been long overdue. So I think it's just a bluster. I think this metaphysical thing has been restricted and has been limited. And I think if they had those powers, it would have since been released through the so-called metaphysical powers. That is not happened tells me that they're bluffing.
Yeah, but I don't know why you had to cast me, doctor, on that, I don't know.
Yeah, a seasoned journalist, so you know all these things.
Okay, we've got another commercial break now. We'll be back.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Every kid is amazing at something. Give them amazing day. Amazing day instant cereal. Give them amazing day. Same calcium as a glass of milk. For healthy bones and teeth. Excellent source of protein. For daily growth and strength. Calcium, protein, vitamin A, dietary fiber.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Instant Cereal. Feed their amazing.
Egbògi kan ti délẹ̀ yìí egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ ṣe ni ó dára fẹ̀jẹ̀ gidi gan Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o.
ojú rẹ̀ ṣàjọlọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneto cleanser ni.
já mi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneto cleanser egbògi àtẹ̀jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà tìgbàlódé NAFDAC fòǹtẹ̀lù MA1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneto cleanser jáde a wà ní nọ́mbà 17 ọba akínyẹlé off Adeogun Street Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ring Road Ìbàdàn telephone 08034051533 fún títà àti rírà ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa Veneton cleanser àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ń ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
It's going to be a golden year, this is what we declare. Every day you go wake up to golden morning if you breathe, say yeah. It's going to be a golden year, as we don't declare. We go wake up every day to golden morning if you breathe, say yeah.
Have a golden morn, a golden day, a golden week, a golden month, and a golden year. Golden morn, delicious nourishment for the whole family.
ọ̀rẹ́ mi jọ ǹjẹ́ mo lè yáge oúnjẹ òun ni àjẹkájẹ ń bẹ kíní nǹkan ń ṣe yùngbà nínú oúnjẹ yìí.
kọrí ìsóúnjẹ tuntun látọwọ́ ọ̀ǹgà ni.
ṣé pé ọ̀ǹgà náà ti ní kọrí.
àkànṣe ni láti inú èròjà ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ èmi ò rò pé mo lè ṣe nǹkan kan mọ́ láláì lo ìsóúnjẹ kọrí ti ọ̀ǹgà yìí o. ọ̀rẹ́ mi ǹjẹ́ lè yá mi ní ọtú gèlè yín yẹn.
ǹjẹ́ náà wáyé nìyẹn.
fún adùn tí wọ́n máa fi dá gbogbo oúnjẹ rẹ mọ̀ yàtọ̀ lo kọrí ọ̀ǹgà tí a fi àpòpọ̀ àwọn èròjà ìṣẹ̀dálẹ̀ ṣe.
ó ga o ṣé ẹ ṣàlè fún wa lóúnjẹ díẹ̀ sí ṣá.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
I'm living the life cause I get this
Hey, kọ́ńbù ẹ̀kú àlejò emú gbòǹgbò ọ̀nà ẹ̀kú àlejò ẹsẹ̀ Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé ẹ̀kú àmójúbà Tizeti Network Limited pẹ̀lú Tizeti ìlò omi òjò lẹ́ẹ̀ máa lo ayélujára íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì níyàwálù torí pé gbajúgbajà níléeṣẹ́ Tizeti Network Limited nídìí ìpèsè ayélujára lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti olókoòwò kéékèèké lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti ẹ lè browse kẹ́ stream kẹ́ sì tún gbá géèmù bó ṣe wù yín láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìlànà ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́mùkú data ká má wàá làágùn jìnnà àjẹpọ́nu láìfà ń lọ lọ́wọ́ fún gbogbo olùgbé Ìbàdàn 2,222 naira péré lẹ́sàn dípò 59,500 naira tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ san fún installation kẹ́ ẹ sì gbádùn internet nínú ilé yín fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko kèé máa ṣeré ìwọ ni kó má sọ̀fànù ẹ kàn sí wifi.com.ng/oyo ẹ sì lè pe 09087493040 tàbí kẹ́ ẹ tẹ àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí internet@wifi.com.ng 22/02/2022 ní fàyí máa wá sópin o ayélujára níyàwálù Ọ̀yọ́ ló wà.
Every kid is amazing at something. Give them amazing day. Amazing day instant cereal. Give them amazing day. Same calcium as a glass of milk. For healthy bones and teeth. Excellent source of protein. For daily growth and strength. Calcium, protein, vitamin A, dietary fiber.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Instant Cereal. Feed their amazing.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back from the commercial break. 32 FM 94.9. We'll see you on Facebook. Raji Afiz Abidemi, K Royal, Aziz Nafisat, Adisa Deshola, Motolani Abiola. Thank you. Okwemi Okunla, Ogundumade Adebayo, and Ajibola Mali. We'll come back to your stories. Good morning, OLUTAYO and DENIKE. On the issue of ASU versus federal government. Honestly, federal government of Nigeria are not serious about our education. They say education is the key to develop our country. I want to urge the federal government, they should please borrow money the way they borrowed to build railway lines. Okay, that's from him.
Okay, let's talk about this story. Doc, are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, let's talk about this. Bringing to your state now, but I must see not Omodeo. Did I get that correct? Is Oyo APC chair, and this is coming from Lanleng Akombi, Buhari Adelabu Akonde, others. They are saying that something about not, would I say, rejecting the return of Mr. Ajiboye as the state chairman of the party in the state. What do you think about this?
Well, it's the crisis that has engulfed APC in some of these states that has continued. There are stakeholders who basically are still refusing to accept results of elections that are disputed. And the problem here is that people are gearing up for gubernatorial elections, governorship elections. So, the key thing is that the delegates, if you get the right delegates, if you get the right structure in place, those that are supporting you, their chances of becoming governor, member of the House of Reps, senator, and so on and so forth become better. And I think that's what's going on. So everybody's trying to place himself. But I think it's not going to spell well for the APC if they cannot sort out their leadership issue in Oyo State. It means that they're allowing the PDP to continue in power. Some might say that's not even a bad thing. I'm not saying that, but some might suggest that. So I think the crisis rumbles on. They certainly haven't resolved it. Because as you rightly alluded to, there's the Omodeo faction, there's the Ajiboye faction, there are other factions there. Adelabu and so on and so forth. So they need to resolve it if they want to be a relevant political force in Oyo State, at least in the next election to come.
The lines are open now. 0809 7000 949 0705 5000 949 and plus 234 906 2000 949 for international callers. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Tayo.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Denike. Prof, good morning. This is okay. Tayo, on the issue of ASU and government, will we ever get out of this? Denike just talked about adding 1 whole year. When we went to school, we never really faced this. Now the children, what are we producing? It's reflecting on them. At the end of the day, what's the hope for these young ones? Why would they not get into all those other things now? What will they do? We are appealing now because it's as if that's the new thing we can do now, to appeal to them because they are not ready to do anything. They should please answer us. Some of our children are there now wasting, let me use our apologies, wasting away time. When will they get out of school? Please, federal government, we beg you. We are appealing now. Good morning.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good morning. I'm joining
Good morning.
this morning too. I'd like to talk about this something. And so, we can ask where was the metaphysician when he was arrested and even charged to coffin in the Republic there? Where was the musician or metaphysician or why did they not go about to ensure that he was not even charged to court? The late Tafa Adeoye was the courageous and the fearless Agbekoya leader who displayed these qualities without even blowing his trumpet, if I may recall. I'm saying so because I sent them a secondary school at Akona, and I was showing around like the booths where the Agbekoya displayed. We saw military booths and everything. That's why I'm referring to the late Afadeyi, who was the leader. And so what I'm saying is that Agbekoya should proceed to free Sunday Igboho in any form without even blowing trumpet, so that the people will know that he has the power to free and to free any person. That's my own advice to the Agbekoya leader. Thank you.
All right. John Ejoko, thank you for that.
0705 5000 949 0809 7000 949. For international numbers, it is plus 234 906 2000 949.
Because if you are powerful, actually, you don't have to keep telling us you're powerful. You display. All right? You don't go around saying, I'm powerful, I'm powerful. No, you display, and so we know that indeed you are. But of course, we look at that. 009 7000 949 080 0705 5000 Honestly, the only solution to insecurity in the country is equity and fairness in government policy. Okay, thank you. We got that. Omotolani Omobasharo. We got your comment there. Let's see if we have another one here. No, we do not. 009-7949-0705-5000-949.
Hello, Doc.
Yes, I am with you.
So on this ASU matter, a caller actually said something about wasting away, and it just brings my mind to, would I say, the orientation of some young people nowadays, and they say, oh, school is a scam because you go to school, you waste a lot of time. For some people, a 5-year course becomes 6 years, 7 years. They didn't have extra year or anything like that. And then you come out and it's not as if they are jobs. And then you probably go and serve. And, there's this story about this lady who had an accident, and when she was going to her place of deployment or whatever it is, until now, when I say the government has not settled the bill, because it's actually a law that whatever health expense that a corps member incurs around that time, the government should settle and all of that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Denike.
Good morning.
Please, my question is this. What does hijab have to do with the quality education? That's my question. Have a nice day.
You have to do an exam called IEL, TS, or whatever it's called. And that's because of the lack of consistency in our education system. 4-year course is supposed to be 4 years. And so it's damaging the credibility of our degrees abroad and international circles, because we cannot sustain an academic calendar. And of course, countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and so on, the reason why they leapfrogged Nigeria was that they invested so much in education. We're not doing so, and we're exposing ourselves, we're exposing our children, and the quality of the graduates we are producing have to be retrained after their degrees. I think it's rather unfortunate, and I think the government needs to sit up and do something about it. Let's pay more in education rather than more to the legislators.
Nigeria has the third highest number of women and girls who have undergone female genital mutilation worldwide, with an estimated 19.9 million survivors, and states prevalence ranging from 62% in Imo to less than 1% in Adamawa and Gombe.
Well, I'm amazed that that still goes on. You understand? It's an archaic practice. It's a practice that adds no value. And it's a practice that doesn't resolve the issues. And I think the reason why it came about in the past was to curb promiscuity. And of course, it's not doing that. It's needless mutilation. So I'm hoping that the federal government, Ministry of Health, those of us who are intellectuals in those various societies or communities can stop this and stop it. It is not something that should be encouraged or done. All over the world is recognized as abuse of the most horrendous proportions. So it's an unfortunate statistic. It needs to be wiped out. And we together, women's societies, men's societies, whatever societies, we need to work together to ensure that this is completely eradicated.
Thank you, Prof, for showing up on the program today. We appreciate your time. My name is OLUTAYO. OGUNADE. It's a safe point for us to call it a day on the People's Review. The program will be back tomorrow at 6:30. My name is, once again, OLUTAYO.